Moving along, let's go to the champ of the week. And you guys aren't going to love this, but I'm going to make you love it, you stinking Yankee fans. This week's champ of the week is a man, Cam Booser, who debuted for the Boston Red Sox as a relief pitcher the other night. Go ahead and get all your booze out because you're going to love this guy's story as soon as I run it down. This guy made his debut for the Red Sox on Friday. He's a relief pitcher. The Red Sox won 8-1 over the Pirates. He pitched one inning, gave up one hit and one earned run and one strikeout. So that's great. That's his first appearance. Pretty decent. Didn't do too bad. But let me tell you why that matters. This man is a 31-year-old pitcher who had a long journey to this moment. And it's not just because it took a long time. He went through a lot. This man
Mhm.
suffered a broken femur from football and a broken vertebra from weightlifting in high school. Both of those things happened before he got out of high school. But even with that, he signed with Oregon State to a baseball scholarship. But after he gets to Oregon State, he underwent Tommy John surgery. He only pitched 11 innings of college baseball. But then he signed with the Minnesota Twins, even with only pitching 11 innings of college baseball and going through all those injuries. So you know he had some talent. They saw it. In 2013, he signed with the Minnesota Twins as an undrafted free agent. But get this, 2 years later, while he's in minor league baseball, he gets hit by a freaking car and breaks his back. And during his recovery, he tears his labrum. And later in 2015, he was suspended for 50 games for testing positive for marijuana. Man, if I had that many injuries, I think I'd be smoking a little bit of marijuana myself. So give this guy a break.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
So then in 2017, after all this difficulty, he stepped away from the game. He worked as a carpenter for 4 years and started coaching youth baseball. And as he's coaching youth baseball, he realizes he can throw in the high 90s without any pain. And after all these surgeries, after he's gone through all this, he gave up the game for 4 years. He's working with the youth. He realizes he can get back into this, and he says, "I'm going to give it a shot." And he signed with the Chicago Dogs, which that's got to be a food name, right? The Chicago Dogs of the American Association. And eventually he got the call up to the Red Sox last week, and he pitched one inning, gave up a run, got a strikeout. But what an awesome story to me. This guy that did not give up, so many reasons he could have given up, but just to make it there, to not give up hope. Champ.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's resiliency to the nth degree. Um, yeah, that's absolutely absurd.
It is.
And I don't mean absurd because he's a Boston fan, because whatever. It was hard to not root for him in '04. Sorry, Allison. I wasn't a hardcore Yankees fan then. But the femur is your biggest bone in your body, and he broke it.
Mhm.
And he broke his back. And he broke his back again. And
Right.
he's a pitcher, and by the way, he's got a torn labrum. Every bad thing that could have happened to him, Terry, happened to him. And these are injuries that would normally, let's face it, they'll kill a career. That's it. That's
Tommy
ball
John
game.
surgery
No,
is huge.
no pun intended. That is ball game.
It
That's why
is.
when I was so cavalier about Garrett Cole going out, and Allison's like, "You don't understand what this means." I said, "Hey, take it easy. It'll be all right." But 60 games, or 60 days rather, without your ace, that's huge for a baseball team. And this guy didn't have the greatest debut. He gave up a run, he gave up a hit, but he gave up a run in garbage time, so it really didn't matter. Um, the one thing they're going to have to do is manage his time. I don't think you ever see him as a starter. He's probably only ever going to be a closer. But good on him, because let's face it, there's 7 billion people on the planet. there are 30, 35 professional baseball teams. There are 30 or 35 people that play on those baseball teams. So there are less than 1,000 professional American baseball players, and he's one of them. Pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Pretty impressive. Particularly when you see the story. And I think what Terry didn't say, and I will, is that this is a story, and I think maybe you did say it, but I'll say it a different way. This is a story of betting on yourself, believing on yourself, and having the guts, the willingness, the fortitude, and the determination to get the fuck up out of bed and do it again. You want it, you go get it. Advice I heard at my house growing up from a man I dearly loved for a very long time, who would be more than happy to have heard this story on NPR. I promise you. He would have thought it was the greatest thing ever, because some guy that's got 6 or 7 major injuries made it to the big leagues to play baseball. Even if it's only one game. Let's face it, Terry. Even if he only pitched in this one game ever,
He made it.
after all that shit, he made
Yeah,
it.
and on the opposite side of that, this guy breaks his back twice and has all these other injuries, and he's still throwing high 90s in his 30s. Me, on the other hand, I have an ACL tear. I'm done.
No. 31 years old, throwing in the high 90s. That's serious velocity, power, skill, technique. Incredible.